All right, all right, all right. Checking the mic, checking the mic, checking the mic. All right, we're good to go. Just gonna drop the what's going on, Rosalind? Let's go. Let's go. Okay, that's pretty cool how I can do that. I did not know that. What's going on, Callum? Anybody can share this out? Please do. Please do. Please do. What's going on, BB? Oh, man. Alright, breaking news report. What's going on, gangsta? We are live with the breaking news report. That sounded great on the audio, I'm sure. Anybody can share this out? Please do. Please do. Please do. What's going on, BB? Who knows? What's going on, Powerhouse? Oh, man. Alright, breaking news report. What's going on, gangsta? We are live with the breaking news. Brandon Cuevas! Y'all, that crackly sound that y'all heard a moment ago was my freaking knuckles. That's wild. Alright, I'm just going to drop this on the Facebook, and I'm going to do a small tweet. I'm not tagging everybody in the tweet. Most of you guys are going to catch this on the replay anyway. Oh, man. But if you're here, leave a comment if you haven't already, so I know you're here. What's going on, Samurai, my brother? Alright. Like I said, I put it out now on the Facebook. I'm just going to do a small little tweet on it. Like I said, I'm not going to tag anybody. It's just going to show up. Although it tags itself. I just want to make sure it's out there, so everybody knows. Tweet. Tweet late. Tweet late. Okay. We are live. That's it. There we go. No big deal. No tweet. No nothing. Alright, now. What I want to do here is make this as fast as possible, because I don't want to drag this on for everybody and be like, God damn, shut up. I just want to get the whole thing announced, put out, so you guys know exactly where we are and what we're doing here in ICW. So, don't know if Ed's gotten in here yet. Hopefully he has. Give me 1 second. I don't got a fucking cough today. Hold on. Well, that answered that question as soon as I saw the yo. Alright, now. Okay. As you guys all know, we have Storm, we have Warzone, we have Dallas Championship Wrestling, we have Miami Pro Wrestling. Now, on top of that, I have recently done the Dynasty Football League. Thomas O'Sullivan, how we doing? I have made it no secret to anyone who's joined us that I am honestly a bigger football guy than I am a wrestling guy. Football has been life ever since I was a freaking knee-high to a grasshopper, as they say. God damn, I hate that line, but I'm going to use it just for the fun of this show. Doing the Dynasty Football League, we're trying to get players involved, coaches involved, owners involved, all that stuff. It's a lot of time, it's a lot of effort, it's a lot of work, and we're kind of running into a couple hiccups here and there, but it's the first season of it, which we expected, but we're having a good time. I knew it would affect ICW a little bit. I'm not allowing it to affect ICW a lot. ICW is not going to go nowhere. ICW is here to stay. We're having fun. But what I have to do is this. If you notice, this is the calendar. Okay? Go to shows. You will see real simple. Miami Pro is gone. Dallas Championship Wrestling is gone. Effective yesterday, but I'm giving you guys the news today. We've shut those two down. There is no more Miami Pro. There is no more Dallas Championship Wrestling. It sucks, but we figured, you know what? We're going to do what we have to do. As a result of that decision, all talent that was a part of Miami Pro Wrestling is now on the Storm roster. Any and all talent that was on Dallas Championship Wrestling is now on the Warzone roster. Okay? All those people have moved over to those rosters. Now, talking about Storm, the following people, if I miss a guy, that's my bad, but the following people got put back on Storm. K-Wolf, Max Muscle, Axel Cage, Leon Young, Jalen Paul, Lewis Carter, Rick Sharp, AJ Jenks, Grilled Cheese. All these guys were basically taken from Miami Pro and were placed on the Storm roster. And then as far as Warzone goes, they were given talents such as Silver, Dallas Spivey, Dustin Dixon, Kazuka, Marcus McMary, Chris Future, Chris Davis, Kirk Carter, Maximus, Axel Cage is now on Storm. If I didn't mention him, I think I may have missed him. Bobby Dazzler has just signed with ICW. He's been added to the Warzone roster as well. So with the added talent and the added muscle and the added beef, if you will, Ed and I said, we don't want too many guys getting buried. So we'll have to figure it out the best that we can. So that's alright. I might even in a custom superstar. I went into the wrong spot. I want to go into the custom titles. Yeah, I get it. You know, Max Muscle's undefeated in the Florida State Champion, so it's crazy. But again, we don't want guys getting buried in the roster. So we're going to do what we can to put as many guys on the show as possible. I'm going to try and do as many shows as we possibly can, like we've been doing. Since I got you guys here, I can give you guys this information. The shows are probably going to be Thursday and Friday. That'll be the 24th and the 25th of next week. I doubt I'm going to be able to get to a show before that based off my wife's schedule. I may be able to pull an early morning Monday show or an early afternoon Wednesday show for shits and giggles. I may bring back house shows like I used to do, download some jobbers, so to speak, just get some guys on TV, just where we can get together for a half hour, 45-minute show, talk some shit, have some good times. I may do that just to get people active, get some guys some wins. You know, if you're familiar with the channel, you know what I'm talking about. I'm also, like I said, I'm doing the Dynasty Football League, so that's a part of it. But I want to give you guys a quick history lesson in case you don't know, and that's about Joey Falcone. Joey Falcone has been a character of mine since 98. It's early 90s, late 90s, excuse me. It's been the late 90s. I used to do the Internet Wrestling Association, or whatever the heck it's called. Imaginary Wrestling Association, that's right, Imaginary, jeez. From Willowick, Ohio. You always found the ad inside the Pro Wrestling Illustrated magazine. One day I decided, you know, Mom, Dad, can I join? That's something that's up to you, Ed. That's your call. That's your show. So I started doing the play-by-mail game. I ended up learning about e-fedding through the play-by-mail game. So I joined e-feds, excuse me, and I became a character known as the Executioner. Now this is the time where people cut promos, and your quote-unquote role-play segment promo wasn't no more than about 3-5 sentences, maybe a small paragraph. That's all it was. I mean, I remember writing something along the lines of the Executioner is seen backstage leaning against the wall, and When I'm going in the WIWF interviewer, and I forget the guy's name, walks over and asks him, how do you feel about tonight's match? And he basically said he was going to smash the guy. He can't deal with a guy his size, blah, blah, blah. And that was the end of the freaking role play. And then it was a great role play. Although my character sucked, in my first year in e-fetting as the Executioner, I didn't even win 20 matches, and I think I lost about 80. I sucked. I figured it out, learned the game, got better. If we are still having ladies division, then we will have to. They said, you run Storm. Storm had the ladies with Miami Pro. If you wish to keep the female division going, that's all you. You've got it. But going into more detail about it, I ended up creating my own e-fed because I thought I was better than everybody else. I had an ego. And I created the Mexican Wrestling Federation, and Joey Falcone was born. And the storyline behind Joey Falcone was he was born to an Italian mafia guy, and his dad paid him to get the hell out of the area because his mafia buddies were going to kill him because he was just a snot-nosed punk kid who was always doing wrong. So he paid him, gave him a bunch of money, let him get out of Italy. He comes to the United States, goes to Mexico, creates the Mexican Wrestling Federation. The Mexican Wrestling Federation eventually became the Internet Wrestling Association, IWA, to play off the Imaginary Wrestling Association that was a part of. And then the IWA became the GWF, because after it was that, I wanted to go global, and I was on a thing called Geeksoft. Well, somebody proclaimed I stole my own graphics, and they shut my page down and let me recreate it, but said I had to change my name, so I changed it from Federation to Alliance. You guys all know about the GWA. But to get to the history lesson point that I'm trying to make, Joey Falcone's roots go to Mexico. That's where he started. He created the Mexican Wrestling Federation. And in storyline, in honor of Joey Falcone's death, and we losing him as far as, wow, did I just create one like an idiot? I want to edit one. Bruno, his brother, has decided to pay tribute to his brother that we've lost on Storm, and he will be the ICW part of the Storm brand. The belt is currently vacant, and this belt will be claimed at the pay-per-view later this month. Yes, you saw that when I was doing the screenshots. So this belt's going to be crowned at the pay-per-view. I don't know how. I don't know Ed's plan in character. We don't know Bruno's plan. It'll be discussed, figured out, and it'll be taken care of. But we're going to have the ICW Mexican Championship title as a part of the Storm brand, and we're adding this fourth singles title due to the fact that the roster has grown. Due to the fact that the roster has grown, this way guys got more belts, more things you guys can fight for and have some fun and entertain yourselves and just have a freaking good time. Slick looking belt. It's not the greatest freaking thing in the world, but it fits what we're trying to do, and it works, and I like it. So there you have the Mexican Championship. The Mexican title will be equivalent to the Warzone's United States Championship. Now, since Storm's adding this title, Warzone had to do the same thing for its roster. Well, since we already have a title equal to the Mexican title in the United States title, we had to find something to compare to the international title. Well, I got lazy. I'm not going to lie. I got lazy. And instead of calling it anything other than international, I just dropped part of it and just called it national. So we're going to have the national and the international. And this title is going to be added to the Warzone brand, the ICW national title. And the national title will actually be more prestigious than the United States title. This will be the equivalent of like the Intercontinental title in the WWE. So what you're going to have is you're going to have the world title, and the champion's going to be able to still travel like he was to Warzone to Storm, which currently is 0. And then you're going to have national champion, international champion. And I may change the name of the belt. If somebody has some ideas, I'm all ears. Trust me, I'm not perfect. So I'm always willing to think of some new stuff. But we're going to have national, international, and then we're going to have United States and Mexican. And then we'll have the internet and the TV title like we have. And then we'll have, of course, the global and the world tag champions. But this is now the second tier title. Now, I went and talked to Powerhouse. Powerhouse is currently the United States champion, and that was the second prestigious title, and in a sense the top title of Warzone, because the world title belongs to both brands, making the United States title at the time the most prestigious of just the Warzone roster. So since this title comes on board and it knocks the United States title down, I don't want to screw over Powerhouse. So I said to him, hey, do you want to take a run at running the United States Championship, see how long you can maintain it? Or do you want to move back up the ranks, if you will, and take on the national championship? Powerhouse has stated he wants this title. So this title effectively now goes to Powerhouse. I will recognize Powerhouse's title reign as national champion from the day he won the United States Championship. The United States title now will be declared vacant, and like the Mexican title, the United States Championship will be claimed at the pay-per-view. What Callum Falcone decides to do with that, we'll have to see. Too far away to even discuss right now, but we're going to have the vacant Mexican title and the vacant United States Championship. Those titles will both be claimed at the pay-per-view. Now, I wanted to show you guys the pay-per-view card. Not the card, but the arena. It's nothing spectacular, but I'm going to show you the arena for the pay-per-view at the end of the month. As you guys know, I try to make it as close to the end of the month as possible, and I can't give you an exact date because, again, I'm one of those guys who's 43 years old. I'm not a kid. I'm an old man who plays this game, and I don't care because I love it, and I love the people I work with. What's going on, Lucius? Since Dustin Dixon won the title before the brand, he'll just move to the roster. That's it. That's basically it. We're trying to figure out if we should come up with something for those guys. We haven't really decided just yet. But, yeah. But our pay-per-view later this month, as I was saying, I revolve my schedule around the wife's schedule, so I don't get in the way of her job, my job, and what have you. But this is the pay-per-view for September. It will be Rage in the Cage. Every single match at the pay-per-view is going to be in a cage or a cell or some structure, which means every match is going to be a cage, Hell in a Cell, or an elimination chamber. That's basically what those matches are going to be at this pay-per-view. And now, because both rosters have grown, Storm will have its own pay-per-view. Warzone's going to have its own pay-per-view. They'll both have their own Rage in the Cage pay-per-views. Oh, well, they already have a title. Paige Infernum is the women's champion. I know Artemis Kent is retiring, and I don't know if Paige Infernum is his female or somebody he knows. I always forget who's who. But nonetheless, there you see Rage in the Cage. This is the arena here. See the the ramp. Nothing spectacular with this arena because it doesn't need to be. It's inside of damn steel structures. And you can see the cage structure around the guy. I can't even get the thing straight. But, simple. It's real simple. It fits what we're trying to do. But Ed's going to put together his 7 matches. And then Warzone will put together their 7 matches, and it'll be 2 separate nights. Yeah, well put, Lucius. Now I can let you guys know this. Like I said, Thursday and Friday, the 24th and the 25th, are probably going to be the next cards. That was the plan. And that's when I have to get together with Ed and let him know the following week it needs to be the pay-per-view. The following week needs to be the pay-per-view, so the pay-per-view is going to come off of that particular week. So somewhere between the 27th and the 30th, I got to kick out 2 shows. The problem with that is I don't know if my wife's schedule is going to cooperate. So there's a small chance the pay-per-views could take place real fucking early in the day. I'm talking 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. Who knows? And that's just the case, and that's the way it's going to be for this week. And the only thing I can do, and I'm letting you guys make the decision right now as a group. We're going to do this as a family. You guys tell me what you think. Monday, okay? Monday, my wife works 4 in the morning to 12. in the afternoon, Eastern time. I can easily do a show that day. Between 4 and 12. And I can do Warzone show that day, probably started around 9 a.m. on Monday morning. Then Wednesday, I would have no choice but to do another show for Storm, which means that then I'd have to do the pay-per-views, boom, boom, Thursday, Friday, which is a lot of freaking work this week. I honestly would not be looking forward to something like that, but it's a possibility. Or we just go with the current system of Thursday and Friday for Warzone and Storm, and then somewhere between the 27th and 30th we kick out the pay-per-view. Because if I can do it on the 28th or 29th because I'm off those days, or even the 30th, and the wife works the perfect schedule, I'm going to try and do both shows the same day. What I want to do is I want to do Warzone's pay-per-view. As soon as it's over, get a drink, go to the bathroom, whatever it is I need to do, and come right back live with Storms. Because Ed and I are going to go super, super crazy. What's going on, Lala? IKEA. There's some new names popping up in the chat. I like it. Appreciate the love. So we're going to do that. Now, Thursday, like I said, if I stick with the current plan, save the pay. I like what Callum's saying. So Thursday the 24th would be Warzone. This will be your card. These are the matches booked for that day. The internet title is going to be on the line as Shakona will defend against D-Train. Creepy Clown will be taking on the debuting Bobby Dazzler. Sergeant Enterprises will be taking on the Queen's Messiah in tag team action. Sergeant Enterprises is Maximus and Dallas Spivey. The tag team titles will be on the line as Baltimore's Finest will be defending the titles against Puma and Morte Loca. And again, Puma and Morte Loca looking for some suggestions on a tag team name. In a interesting contest, Vernon Quinn and Alex Dar will be teaming up to take on the team of DOA and Powerhouse. Then you're going to see a 5-way elimination match as Kirk Carter takes on Chris Davis, Chris Future, Marcus McMary, and Kazuka. 5 guys that came over from Dallas Championship Wrestling going to square off in a 5-way elimination. And then in a fatal 4-way match, Bruiser Who versus King Dominator versus Devin Brosky versus Butcher Bloodlust. Interesting fatal 4-way. Bruiser Who, King Dominator, Devin Brosky, and Butcher Bloodlust. It's going to be extremely interesting. Then on the 25th will be Storm. And the matches will be as follows. In a rematch, because it ended in a draw, the Purity Express will be taking on the Midnight Freebirds. The television title is going to be on the line as TK Anderson defends against Daniel Dino. Byron Austin will be going one-on-one with Feck. Billy will be taking on the Whiskey Rebel himself, Todd O'Sullivan. AJ Jenks will be taking on Grilled Cheese. Yeah, that's no mistake in the name. Grilled Cheese, if you have not been paying attention to Miami Pro. The International Championship will be on the line as Rick Blanchard will be defending against TNT. And then the main event, your Golden Opportunity Briefcase holder, Lucius West, will be squaring off against Joker, Nixon, Wolf. Those are your cards for a Warzone and Storm. So to do a quick recap, we got Warzone, we've got Storm, Dallas Championship Wrestling, Miami Pro Wrestling closed, rosters moved to Warzone and Storm. Holy shit. Now, if you go to the website, icwzone.weebly.com, on the left-hand side now, you will see where it says Warzone rankings. If you click that, obviously it's all Warzone. Then you see the Storm rankings. Then we've got the world title history on a page by itself, Warzone's title history, and the Storm title history. Everything's been separated so you can find things a whole hell of a lot easier. The only thing I got to do on both of those is I've got to add the national title and I've got to add the Mexican title. Now, another big piece of news. Yes, I did want to get into 21CW. We will still keep a farm system. It's called 21st Century Wrestling, run by yours truly over there. Real KO King, the Callum Falcone. So, pal, you want to be a part of the roster and we're full, you go there and work for him. Now I want to give you guys some update on the points system. The small changes have been made to the points, and they are as follows. Due to the addition of the national and the Mexican title, the international and national titles are now worth 40 points. If you lose them, you lose 20 points. The United States and Mexican are 30 points. You lose them, they're 15 points. Any title you win in ICW, once you lose it, you lose half the points you've earned. And do remember, you get 10% of the points title value anytime you successfully defend the title. So if you're the world champion and you successfully defend it, you get 60 points for winning it. You get 6 bonus points every time you defend the title. The international and the national would be 4 points. United States, Mexican, 3. Tag team titles are 3. The television and the internet are 2 because they're 20 points in value. Also, to add more fun to the shows, you guys know I plead and beg for segments, promos. They are now worth 5 points instead of 3. We're going to throw in 2 extra points. Hopefully it inspires a little bit more people to throw those segments our way, get those in here. Do know not all segments make the show. And here's why. If I listen to you talk in a segment and you do not sound like you are cutting a promo on something I would see on TV, I'm not going to air it on the show, but I will give you the points for trying. I will try to then take some of the stuff you take in the promo and implement it in the show if possible. If you type up a segment and send it to me, I'll read it to you, read it to everybody. But if you send something in and it makes absolutely no sense, I'm not going to do it. Also, understand this. If it has not happened on screen in ICW, it doesn't exist here. If you want to create an angle, create a storyline, create something, bring it to my attention. I will talk to Ed. Ed will talk to me. We will also talk to what we got to talk to as far as anybody who may be involved in a storyline or angle and try to make it happen. If you say it on the air before it's taking place, it's kiboshed. I won't do it. It's done. Not going to happen. You can forget it. Come up with something else. That's already happened recently. Won't go into details, but it has happened. I will not throw anybody under the bus, but that's happened recently. Talent can talk their shit and have fun and create drama. That's great. I'm okay with it. It all adds to the angles and the storylines. But again, if it's not mentioned on screen, it's not reality as well. And that's where the talent's got to figure out what's what and what's the story. Because, you know, if it's real, wrestlers are going to talk a lot of shit and lie through their teeth. So we got to figure out what's what. Also, even though we have a ranking system and we have points, okay, I've run into this issue already and I need to address this. Guys think just because they're ranked number 1, say for the international title, they're the number 1 contender and they get the title shot. That's not what that means. It just shows us where you're at on the card, and it's kind of where you're at for your push. It's how valuable you've become to the roster and to the company itself. It shows your involvement. It shows your longevity. Guys have earned title shots by winning number 1 contenders matches for the most part. Almost every title shot I've given out for Warzone, minus the internet title, has been a number 1 contender spot that somebody's earned the opportunity to get the shot at the gold. And like I said, somebody's saying, oh my god, I'm number 1 for this belt. Where's my title shot? When am I getting my title shot? Also, when it comes to the angles and storylines, let me touch back on that again. Please, for the love of anything, pay attention. And why I'm saying this is we have seen Wrestler A in a dispute, if you will, a rivalry, if you will, a small feud with Wrestler B. Wrestler B is an ally to Wrestler C, and then Wrestler C wants to talk shit on Wrestler A about how they're taking the title shot. So you want to leapfrog your buddy, your friend, your partner, your stablemate, your tag team partner, whatever the case may be, and you want to jump right in front of him and go after the belt. Now, if we're going to play the game right, you've just compromised your alliance, and there should be a match down the pike between you two before anyone even gets the title shot. If I see that again, I'm going to run with it. If you want to create that drama, I'm going to run with that drama. I don't care. Let's have some fun. Because if you're not paying attention, that ain't my fault. And I'm not going to be mad at nobody. We all make mistakes, but I'm going to run with it. And you might be doing it on purpose. You might be doing it on purpose just so I do that. You might be setting my ass up going, all right, how good of a promoter is this guy? Let's test his fat ass. Well, Fatty's going to do it. Fatty's going to make it work. Fatty going to run with it. So that's where I'm at with that. So I had to mention that. I just had to mention that. You know, because I've seen it a couple times and it's just like, what are you doing? God dang it. Also, one other thing. If your character has a gimmick and that gimmick does not match who you are in real life, do you understand there's two different things? We've had somebody say, I'm Canadian. We know, but your character's not, you twithead. Do know when we're talking about the wrestler, it's the wrestler's situation, not your personal situation. Because that was just too damn funny. I almost lost my shit that day. It was the most funniest thing. I was like, did that really just happen? Damn it, Town, don't throw people under the bus. What are you doing? But either way, it was still fucking great. I love him. He's a good guy. Fucking nutcase. But if anyone have any questions at all, by the way, as I'm rambling here, this way I make sure I'm covering everything so everybody knows what's what. Because as I'm talking to you, I just want you guys to know this. Storm's got top 5 contenders for the world title, top 5 contenders for the international title. The Mexican title's got top 5 contenders. The television championship now has 12 contenders. 12. Yeah, I'm going to touch on that here in a minute, Ed. And then in Warzone, the rosters, top 5 for the world, 5 for the national, 5 for the United States, and 10 for the internet. And you saw the comment Ed just made about injuries. Expect more injuries, if you will. Yes, that is something we're going to be doing too. Because some of these matches just get freaking out of control. And guys take ever-loving beatings. Since I moved up and new titles, well, you've never successfully defended the United States title except for once. I'm willing to acknowledge that title defense. So don't have to worry about that. Well, he's playing a character. He's playing like let's say WWE, for example, Mr. P. Lana is American, but she plays a Russian. It's a gimmick. It's a character. Ivan Drago plays a Russian in Rocky 4, but he's not Russian. You know, take Nikita Koloff, motherfuckers from Minnesota, born and raised, played a Russian. So Feck's a Canadian playing a Jamaican role. It's all good. It works. Yeah. What happened to your accent? That shit was hilarious with Kofi. Now what the hell was I just saying? Oh yeah, the injuries. Right, I think I was talking about the injuries. But the matches just take forever sometimes, and the guys go through hell. And then they're booked on the next show. That just doesn't make no sense. We've got to start playing off some of that stuff a little bit more, so we're trying to add a little bit more realism to it. So that's what we're going to end up running with. That's what we're going to end up doing. So hopefully you guys are okay with that. Hopefully you guys are good with that. We're just trying to make ICW as realistic as a company as you can find. Basically, what I want you to do is if you sit down on your couch at home and you pick up your remote control and you turn your television on and you turn into a wrestling program, we're trying to set it up to where when you turn on YouTube and you watch our wrestling program, it would remind you of something you would see on television. That's what we're trying to do. So to the 1,051 subscribers of this channel, that's what we want you guys to get when you come here. That's what we want you guys to experience when you come here. That's what we want you guys to enjoy when you come here. I'm doing everything in my power to make ICW the best call company you are a part of on the net. That's my goal. And to 5 guys, that might be the case, and for the next 5 guys, it might not be the case. But I'm gonna try. I'm gonna bust my ass doing it. Ed's doing the same thing. You know, so that's just what we're doing. That's where we're at. It's what we're trying to do. We're just trying to have as much absolute fun as possible. I also want to let you guys know, Hulk Smash, the video I put up of myself with my ugly ass mug on the body of the Incredible Hulk, has now hit 61,372 views. Absolutely freaking insane. The most watched video on this channel. But in any case, I think I'm done mentioning everything. I think you guys get it. We're surrounded by a bunch of great guys here. Yeah, so that being said, if no one has any questions, I'm going to wrap this up, let you guys go back to your life. I'm going to eventually take a nap here. I got to go back to work at 9, and my ass only got 3.5 hours of sleep this morning, so I need to get me a little bit of sleep in. So if anybody needs anything from me, please make it quick, whether it be you're hitting me up here now, or if you're going to hit me up real quick when I go off the air, because I want to try and be laying down within the hour. It's going to take me an hour nap or so. But hopefully everybody likes what's going on. And like I said, as far as the Florida State Champion and the Texas State Champion, Ed and I are still debating exactly what we want to do with that and how we want to handle that. So yes. So alright, I'm gonna wrap this up. Y'all be safe. Y'all take care. Appreciate you being here. Bloop. Yeah, buddy. I didn't get a chance to read it, but I'm gonna check it out here in a second. But alright, y'all. Alright, I'm out of here. I'm getting distracted with too much shit. Y'all be safe. Later.